Hello everyone, this is Dungeon Defenders Redux, episode 3. I know I said in the last video at the beginning that I would be getting a fish in the bowl, but that's actually this episode because episode 2 was running a bit long, so I just pushed it next episode. But for sure, fish in a bowl, and then Genie Sim and Divine Crystal farming. It's under an hour. I might push it past an hour, but see how long these maps take. Hardcore. You already have gear on your character. If you haven't put gear on, these stats generally, make sure you have a set, all same, pristine. They have to be mythical as well. Or mythical. This is tower boost. Pause the video if you need. As for auras, initiate, hardcore, Moonbase, which is in campaign, Moonbase, go. This is for fissionable. Even on hardcore, it can drop with very good stats. So first off, you're jumping in this thing. Activate the secret. Click that button here. Go ahead and grab this. Getting mana right now. Okay. Jester. Can maybe get by. Add one. What level? I need a tower movability. I get that at level 5. I think it can be fine. So on this map, buttons, it opens up a door in the back of the map, basically, and get a lot of mana, and that's how you get activate the fish in a bowl, and then you'll receive it as a reward map, getting all the chests that are available. So the reason why I needed a jester is because on this map there's 3 cores, but you don't get all 3. And it's much easier if you only have one. Stand on the starting blue. It's much easier if you let the other 2 cores just die. And then you go on a jester. A little difficult. So on this map, there's only 3 cores, but you only need 1. So you can let the other 2 cores die on this map specifically, not any other map. And you'll still be fine. The game won't end. There'll be an explosion, and then defenses that are close, and like auras, like you place this just for sake, like if I have the aura at full size right now, it'll get hit by this crystal when it dies. But I want to protect this crystal, but I want to have my auras still. But whenever a crystal explodes at any point, it reduces the amount of defense units and minion units that you can use on the map. So you don't want that. You want to press the minus button on your keyboard, which is next to the 0. It reduces the defense size. You want to just make it kind of small. Too big. Electric aura. Around that size. Even that might be a little too big. And then Jester has a tower movability that allows you to increase the size after the crystals have died, but I need level 5 on the Jester. Reflection beam. Buff beam. Summon defenses. SAM unit. And then in Dungeon Defenders, there's a thing called tower stacking, which you need a auto hotkey script. You can also do it manually, but it's incredibly difficult. It's enabling it. It has been agreed on upon by literally everyone in the community that it's okay to use. Will not get banned if you use it. Been being used since people discovered that you could tower stack. Fortunately, there's not an implementation within the game that just allows you to natively do it, even though everybody that plays the game does. For the most part, I mean, there's probably 2 players that maybe don't, but even then, everybody else just tower stack. And when you tower stack, there's a tower stacking script that you can find on YouTube, which I'll leave a link in the description. It goes over how to enable it. You hold the button. So I want SAM unit, press the button again, and then you press Control or you press Alt. Alt lets you control the direction. You click, but if you hold Control and you just look in the direction, it'll spawn a tower in that direction. So what I'm going to do is 2 SAM turrets, which you can go into your T, summon defenses, and then you click and hold 1 on the keyboard, and it'll add it to the bar, which is easier to use. And I'm going to look this way. Goes, and then there, and then back into the DDR machine. Tower stacking has been pretty much agreed upon by everybody in the community, the devs, that it's okay to do. You won't get banned for doing it. The reason why I'm building on wave 1, making sure I get everything, because once these crystals die, I won't be able to build anymore out of defense units. And I already placed 2 in this direction earlier when I was just like 2 more and then put 1 more behind. Doesn't really matter much. Precise. And then I'm gonna swap to the summoner. And then I'm gonna make what's called a minion wall. Which you just archers. Also a little tip for the summoner. Summoner can tower stack without needing an auto hotkey script. You don't move your mouse. Click. You can press the 6 key again and do this as much as you want until you run out of minion units. So I'm just gonna put 3 archers there. It doesn't really matter, it's just to show that you can do it. And then I'll put these slightly further behind. A mage can also stand on top of a spider minion, even though you can move your mouse. But it can't do that with this unless you don't move your mouse. So if you press an archer minion and then you shoot, it'll do that. And that's what's called a mage wall. This line of archers and then a mage and a spider behind it, or right between, doesn't really matter. Mage has a certain healing radius around it. It's like 4 or 5 here. On this one I won't move my mouse, and then I'll just click 1. You just want it to make a wall where it blocks, kind of like this does. Like, took a wall, this is a minion wall. Just add archer, spider, and then also I didn't explain overlord mode. Press 2, and then you can use your scroll wheel on your mouse to go up or down, and then WASD to move around. Stay still, but you can build in this mode and interact with the environment. It's a unique thing on Summoner. I'm going to swap to Jester, so that way it gets XP. I will be needing the tower movability to use my tower size. Run up here. Also, make sure you click the fish in the bowl after you do the Instance Revolution thing. and it gets level 5. These SAM turrets are unique to Redux as well, for Series EV. A couple other turrets have been added in Redux that are not in the live version. Majority of them aren't used. There's orders for the Countess and Squire that are used occasionally. The rest of the towers I don't really think. The Series EV SAM turret it has to use early game. It's low stats, it is very good. Better than majority of other damaging towers. Level 5, 17, fine. This is the majority of what Jester is used for, that's the only reason I have one. It's gonna... Make sure you don't put any items on, by the way. You don't want to have any defense radius, because then you won't be able to put towers right next to you. So I press 2, which was tower move, click, and then I'll move this over here. And I press plus, which is next to 0, next to minus. And then I just spam it a bunch of times till the aura is back to max size. That increases the aura size if it's not already at the max. Then I'm going to grab every single one of these, all 3 of these auras, electric, strength, snare, and just spam the button till they're max size. And that's it. That's all I need a Jester for. I can swap to the Monk. He's not a DPS Monk yet, but it has tower boost. And I'll just run around, collect mana, upgrade the buff beam. And I'll be doing this till the final wave, and then the final wave I'll add other characters so I can get extra rewards. Make sure you upgrade this buff beam, which is this purple thing. Any tower on top of it or near it, like auras and stuff, or these SAM turrets, get an increase in stats. It's listed here. Buff beams are very, very strong. Arguably the best tower in the game. I just destroy everything because it's significantly below where I should be. Hardcore is very easy, but later on it'll be harder. Also, I'm gonna press T, Hero, and then Aura of Fire, and put that on 6. Go wherever you want, but Aura of Fire is because I don't have a DPS weapon yet. I'll use it occasionally. Also, something else I'm gonna displayed outline quality up to. It's just for the minimap. Anything below that is generally worthless at this point. So upgrade this, press 5 whenever you want to upgrade. I'm going to go ahead and use Aura of Fire. It just makes a radius around me where I deal damage. I don't have to do anything. This map usually takes around 30 minutes when you're at the stat range, even though you're destroying everything. And then 3 stars, whenever you 3-star a tower, that's the maximum amount of upgrades it gets. So you want to upgrade buff beams first, and then auras usually, and then the tower that's doing the damage, which are the SAM turrets, which are a bunch stacked here. Grab more mana, auras, and start the wave. Take about 20 to 30 minutes for this map total. Down in the Glyssal will be roughly the same. Can fail this map. It's possible even with playing on this difficulty. Way below where you should be. It's still deceptively hard, especially the later waves will have a lot more enemies, and when you add extra characters, there are even more enemies. You should not add characters till the final stage. I can pretty much just AFK. There's nothing I need to do. None of the items that drop here are worth picking up or even looking at. They're mana, basically. A lot of the items in this game are just mana. They'll drop, but you don't really need to look at them. You can look at them for entertainment, bring the wave, see how terrible they are. Yeah, pretty bad. But that's the only thing. On higher difficulties, you do have a chance for ultimates and stuff to drop, but it's so ridiculously rare for it to happen when you're campaign, which is the main. You do survival, it's a strategy to actually farm armor. Higher waves, you can actually get usable things, but on campaign, you're pretty much never going to happen, and on hard, never going to get some remotely. Upgrading these auras, and then after that, just Sam turrets. Go ahead and start the wave. This map can be tricky, so the placement, the size of the auras, when the crystals are initially breaking up and where you put the auras around here can be problematic when the other two crystals are exploding, because it'll catch it if you didn't reduce its size enough. You can reduce it down to 0 if you really want, until it doesn't reduce anymore by holding them, clicking the NS key a bunch of times. And then you should be fine if you're running into issues. Should fix it. At this point. You can also use hero boost. Use the gens, which is what they're called. Get stuck. Slow down the wave, it's really my hero boost, which is my ability 3, and then my AoE of fire to kill them. This is a lot of what makes the map slow. When you have better gear, you'll be able to hit them through the walls. You won't even upgrade this. Once these are 3 stars, then I'll upgrade the Sam turrets. I'm just gonna start the wave. You don't really need to worry till pretty much the last wave or the second last wave, where there's a lot more enemy. You'll also notice how defense units is red, and then it says out of 55, but I have more than that. That's because we built before the other crystals blew up. That's how many defense units you would have if you built after the crystals explode, rather than before. Where if the defenses got destroyed, I have to build over again. See, now it starts to get a lot more enemies, and they all clump up like right there. Is it where a fire? Fine. Should hit through the wall actually. Also just run up, it doesn't really matter. But it's generally just best to sit here. I would upgrade this wall as well. Probably upgrade. Yeah, or as well. When a wall starts to take damage, you can upgrade it. And it'll heal it to full if it's really low, or if it's just taking any damage at all. Click Aura of Fire again. Luckily there's not any gens that got stuck on this way. What achievement that is? A random achievements. Also, you notice on my stats, like 50, 400, 5. And there's this one's 900 because it's what I was looking for on all my items. This pet will give me as much or better than the entirety of what I'm getting from this. If I have 400, this pet that I'm about to get, that'll go right here, I have up to 600. I'll have 1,000. Obviously I won't need it on this character, but it still matters. And getting just extra stats in general on every single one of your builders, being like 5 to 600 is very significant at this stage of the game. I'm just using Aura of Fire here, because they get clumped right. You can also use Tower Boost, which is the number 2 hotkey if you need to. I might use it right now. All the auras are upgraded, so that's fine. I'll upgrade that. I'll upgrade these, and then once it has the 3 arrows, look plus or minus, it'll go to the next tower and upgrade those. It's generally cheaper and more efficient that way. You're upgrading towers in a stack. Plus or minus, I'm gonna have it 3 arrows. It's generally cheaper. Just keep plus or minusing until you get the one that doesn't have 3 arrows. Once it has the option to upgrade to the star, you just go to the next one. Because it gets way more expensive and each upgrade gets the same amount of damage increase, so it's better just to upgrade another tower instead of spending 700 mana to upgrade once. Instead, 700 mana to upgrade another tower 3 times. It's the majority of them. I'm just upgrading this. I know it's not having difficulties yet, but once you get to the last wave, it'll be a lot harder once you add other characters. Kind of just relax till then, and then occasionally, like Aura of Fire, 16 to just kill everything. Like here, I'm just gonna click it, because all the enemies are clumping. Now I'm starting to get more ogres as well, so it may be worth it to use my hero boost. Not my hero boost, my tower boost, which is the number 2 ability. This thing. But I mean, my damage is fairly good. My armor was not bad, so I may not even need to worry about that on this round. And then I'm gonna repair with 4. Bit low. Upgrade a little bit. I think that's pretty much all of them. The 3 arrows. I'm gonna just get stuck. So you hit them with your right click. Sometimes they'll aggro onto you. So get unstuck. Enemies that are stuck will eventually die, but a minute or 2 and it's really slow. Click hero boost if I can. Nope. It's over. Just randomly stuck. The only unfortunate thing about the game, really. Enemies will just get stuck occasionally. Oh, there we go. Got unstuck. Oh, there's another enemy over here. Up. It's not as bad on higher difficulties. You'll have better stats as well. Using apprentice towers, which can hit through walls. Or waves. A bit more upgrading. majority of them are already re-arrowed. We're doing that. The djinns or djinns or however you pronounce it will they'll focus on a tower for a certain duration, and if they finish that duration, they'll just delete the tower entirely, and the walls, the buff beam, anything. Press T boost. I could probably just heal this. I'll go ahead and press T boost. I don't think I need it, but speed up the wave a little bit. T boost is very powerful. Look. 467, 561 with tower boost. 460 and then 200,000. I lost 260,000 damage per second when I turn off tower boost. A significant, and that is just at this point. Later it can increase it by even more. It is a ridiculous ability. You could have significantly more stats, but you're not using tower boost. Your tower damage is nerfed significantly. Okay, I'm gonna press F3, hold the characters. Make sure you add your Series ZB or whatever builder you're using whenever you want to have an end of map. Whenever a character that built is currently in the map as an alt or a main character, your towers get increased damage by a percent. I think it's 35 or 40%, something like that. Around there, I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade these. So whenever you're adding characters for end of map rewards, make sure you add the character that's going to be doing the most damage from towers. It'll significant amount. Like this was doing 200,000, now it's doing 266,000, 66,000 more than it was before I added the Series, which will affect the end of map reward. Well, the speed, I mean. But also, the characters you add, depending on the map, can affect what rewards you get for weapons. Initiate, you'll get monk weapons. Monk, you'll get monk weapons. Summoner, I think, count as apprentice. Or random. I think it's random, actually. This wave's a lot harder. Summon at the boost at the beginning of the wave. It's doing 700,000 now. Ridiculous. Per tower. Per tower, that's not just one tower. The whole amount, every single one of them. Later on, you'll be able to get a mana generation pet, and a weapon that allows you to collect mana with Genie. And then you'll be able to have tower boost up the whole wave, instead of like now where it's draining slowly and I have to pick up mana to keep going. Should probably disable it in a second. Progressively uses more mana. Want to have it toggled off and on whenever you don't have a mana collection pet. Just looking at the map. Left shift is to open the map. Generally good practice to look during a wave. Just kind of hold it open. Occasionally see what things are having issues, what aren't. How many enemies there are, where they're at. Even if you do maps a lot, enemies can just get stuck. The map can tell you where they're at. Also, the monk tower boost has a certain radius around it, so you want to stay near your towers, but not like you don't have to be directly next to them, but there's an area around it. Like I can be like over here and I think it still boosts, but if I go farther away it won't. Turn it off and on. Just make sure I don't die, because if I die, maybe lose the if I start getting hit, I'm just gonna fall. Seems to be going fairly well. Once I can boost again, it should be fine. I should be able to finish the wave. Just kind of holding right click when I can. My weapon doesn't do a significant amount of damage, but it's noticeable. Last few enemies now, so. Turn off that boost. Skeletons will just eventually die to the towers, but this one won't. This enemy will just take forever. There's one to heal as well. Hero boost turned on, and I'm just right-clicking. Hero boost increases your damage that you deal with weapons. It doesn't increase your damage from the aura of fire, but it increases damage with weapons and pets. Very, very good ability. Monk is a very overpowered character. A lot of different uses. You can use it as a aura builder if you don't have initiate, power booster, hero booster, which just makes you do insane damage. Last enemy. Easy. Oh, I didn't realize this map gave it like 2 million XP. Good, actually. Maybe I would have had to have done one less run. 7. Swap to initiate. Turn to Tavern. Look at what I got. Hopefully they have all the tower stats. At least one of them anyway. There's a chance when you get these. These are useful later. Huntress and Apprentice Guardian, useful later, but most of the stuff in the shop that you'll see will not be very useful. I said this is very, very, oh, no, I also got the pet that I need. This is what you want. It's not called a genie in game, but this is a genie pet. What it's referred to as, they have different names occasionally, but this is what it'll look like. Equip it. It'll be like that on the left side. This one's really, really small for some reason, but yeah, it's just a pet. And it grants you mana when you damage your opponent. So if I have a weapon, and I hit an opponent, I'll generate mana. But right now I don't really need this for something later. Go ahead and save that. If you get one, save it. And now here's to this. I want these to have every single stat like this. All the tower stats. This one's fairly good. I'll try to up it a little bit. Power damage. This is the one that I'm going to use on Series EV, so it's the most important. So look at my stats. 500, 600, 1,000. Equip this pet. 1,500. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. It is a massive power increase. Get very early on. Also need one on my shit, preferably with radius. Fortunate. This one's okay, I guess. You want it to have 500 to 600, but sometimes you can get a little bit unlucky. And third one, onto my summoner to do, I guess. It doesn't really. And then my monk, my tower booster monk. You want it to have your you want it to have tower boost, but this one has really low tower boost, so I think I'll take this one off even though it doesn't have HP. And then I'll put it on. I'll put this one on. Okay, the one with tower boost and 0 HP. This one. Which I'm also going to upgrade. You also get random weapons from this map. Oh man. The random weapons can be really, really good like this. That in there. They can have like 200 to 300 positive stats. Hold on to this, I might need it later. I don't really. I'll probably have something better, but. Oh. First Transcendent Armor. Get mythicals from this as well. Drop. I'm not going to hold on to them. I'm going to get better armor pretty soon. Majority of these pets are useless. You can look at the weapons and the fish in the bowl, and if you get a genie, put it in here. I'm going to put this weapon that I just got on my Series EV. Move my worst to this one's worse. It's one which is way. Hold on to that. A lot of more stats. Now, down in the cliffs. You can do this with less stats, but I generally want it like 1,000-ish, 1,200-ish. Your EV is what matters most. Power boost monk, you want to have as much as possible. This one, I mean, it kind of matters, but HP matters more than the range, unless you have like ridiculously low range. But if you have a fissionable with pet, with range and health. Alright, down in the cliffs. Insane hardcore. This build is what Beep uses in his series on Redux, but it's not really altered that much. I just shrink the ensnare aura, and I also have higher stats. He uses this complete hard to get a Genie Scimitar on hard. The Genie Scimitars on hard are not particularly good, and once you have a fish in a bowl, you can do insane, and that will generally give you better Genie Scimitar for Divine Crystal farming. So it is better just to get a fish in a bowl. He, at this point in his series, he skipped the fish in the bowl. I don't know why, but he skipped it for a really long time. This build, you're just building reflect beams, 1DU, 1DU, and then a buff beam right here. 5DU wall. Here, wall as well. This way, 2DU, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to lock this whole section. The DU is important for the walls and the reflection beams, as well as the buff beam. You just want to build a 4D buff beam. You want to build it like here. This crack is. You don't want to build it all the way up here. You don't want to build it all the way back here. When the boss spawns, it will hit towers. But the boss spawns here. Wall is here. And it'll hit the wall, but only if it can hit the towers. If it can hit the tower, it'll hit it. And if you're way too close, it'll hit the towers first because it just decides it wants to hit it. If it's too back, it may not even hit it at all. So you're just gonna tower stack a SAM units, place one that way, one facing like the direction you face when you click stack. It does matter because you're pressing Control 1. When the wave starts, Grab mana, place a few more. I think I forgot to do something. Forgot to put an electric aura. This may not work actually. Oh, never mind. I can DPS if I need to. Let's put that down if I need to. Might put a Scimitar over here. Actually. Put a shock beam there. This first wave. It's a little. Because I forgot to put shock beams, a lot of enemies are like getting through, so that's my mistake. Shock auras rather. I would place shock auras if you can. Make the same mistake I did. I'll be adding those at the beginning of the next round. Okay. You have a weapon you can just hold. It's a mage weapon, you can hold left click and right click and it'll hit the enemy. It'll auto fire. That worked fine. Wave 1 is generally easy anyway. So I'll place a buff beam right here. Just to upgrade the orbs that are there. Swap back to initiate. I forgot to place an electric aura here. You want to make sure you place it a little bit farther back. Also, I didn't explain the ensnare and strength auras are too big for this map with this much stats. Do want to reduce them with the minus key once or twice for the strength and the ensnare. Otherwise, they'll take a lot more damage during. I'll need to delete this actually. Just T and put up the cell menu. Place these. 1, 2 that way. 1. Okay. 4 here. I'll place spacing like in between, right? You don't really have to be super precise. Place 1 more. Should be fun. I'm gonna swap to Monk just to have AoE burn for the wave, and I'm just gonna be adding minions soon, but I don't have enough mana. Also, now that I'm clearing maps, I have 70 million mana instead of the 2 million that I had before. Once I have enough mana, I'll place a Spider Queen right here with mages so these enemies get stuck. Upgrade the buff beam. This is what because it's insane, everything just gets one shot by my flame aura. Unfortunately, once you get the buff beam over here upgraded, the enemies should get hit over there. They're attacking that wall. It can be kind of finicky sometimes though. So you just need to run over and ring of fire. Kill everything. Run at them and it should be fine. This will be a problem on the next waves really. This is also a Redux exclusive map, so if you're trying to play live and follow along, you won't be able to. This series is meant for Redux, not live. Redux has a lot of changes and maps and stuff that live does not. Which live is just the normal version of the game. You have to install a separate version to be able to play Redux. Fortunately, those SAM turrets aren't hitting. I think I need to move this wall a little bit closer. DPSing, your boost, and AoE. And not to get hit if possible, but Because I have resistances and HP, it doesn't really matter. Sell this wall and move it forward. Can spawn minions now as well. Make sure you upgrade the buff. CV. Okay. Like right here. It's 2 to you. That's all I have. Run back. Summoner. And then Spider Queens plus Archers. Summoner is fairly useful on this difficulty, and Nightmare it is useful for damage. But on Insane, its damage scaling is very bad. Also, another thing about Summoner, you can spawn 2 things at once. If they're a different type of Summoner unit, I'm just going to place a couple mages next to this Spider Queen. Spider Queen is very tanky. 60,000 compared to 11, and it can get healed, and it also slows enemies, does damage, increases the damage they take, the enemies. Very good. So Redux exclusive thing. It's gonna place like 3 or 4, it doesn't really matter. I don't think the Spider Queen it should ever die. And then hold 6, don't move the mouse. 6 again. Keep spamming. I have like 5 or 6 here. Actually need 1 less. Sell that. Make sure you don't sell the buff beam. Sit. Spider Queen there. That's the end of the build. Back to Monk. Build the run is done. Slowly upgrade everything. Upgrade the buffing over there, and then the auras here a little bit, and then sure to upgrade the SAM turrets. Okay. Now the SAM turrets are hitting there. Let's upgrade. Buff beam buffs the archers and the auras. I forgot to place an electric aura. I didn't place one over here, did I? Oh well, it doesn't really matter. It only matters for that first wave. Buff beam. This is the thing about having the auras too big. Will take a lot more damage. It's once. I don't really need mana as possible. Now myths start dropping, but they're probably not. Okay, upgrade this wall. 3 times, and then it doesn't really matter. Upgrading it during the boss fight, so it'll heal it to full. Okay. Actually, I may just upgrade it now. Grabbing mana at the end of the wave. 3 arrows if possible. increases the damage 3 times, and then increase. Should be 60% increased damage compared to a base Scimitar. Had to do a quick pause, unpause. Okay. Grab mana. Upgrade stuff. You don't need to upgrade the wall over there. Actually, I don't even think it's anymore. Like something pushed it out of the way. Just upgrade this and then press plus or minus to go to the next tower. Plus is easier. Just upgrading the towers in the stack as much as possible. And then just click go. You want to upgrade the wall to max because that's what the boss will be hitting. And if it's not healthy enough, it'll die. Spiders are one of the most annoying minions in this game. Enemies. They just slow you and are very obnoxious, hard to hit. They're fairly squishy, but they can hit your turrets and it'll pretty much kill your build. That's why reflect beams are so good. Reflects the spider minion shot, the archer shot. Ogre, if it throws a snot ball, reflects that. Very, very good tower. Reflect beam. Very cheap as well, only one defense unit. This is the value even more. 2 defense units and you can pretty much block your towers from getting hit if they're not getting hit from behind. And just plus till you get that tower that's not upgraded. The 3-star, 3 arrow. That is dangerously close to dying. Okay, heard that. You can always upgrade a tower whenever it's really low on HP and it'll as well. Don't want to upgrade or it's taking too long to upgrade. Upgrade these a few times. Arrows should be fine. Towers get about 20% stat boost for every upgrade, but there are a few exceptions, like buff beams. They only get upgraded 1.5 out of their total, so there's 5 upgrades for every tower. There's 1 arrow, 2 arrows, 3 1-star, and then final. Is that one? Sir. And buff beams do not get 2 times damage like the other towers do. They get 1.5 times. Also, Adept and Apprentice's Lightning Towers and Deadly Striker Towers do not get 2 times damage increase to 20% per upgrade. Those towers do not receive that as well because those towers are incredibly OP, and if they got full upgrade amount, they would be even more OP when fully upgraded. One more wave, just upgrading. Those are the only 3 towers that I know of that don't get the full 20% per level up and only 10% instead. It's also a Redux thing on live. Towers, regardless of what they are, only get 10% per upgrade. But in Redux, towers get 20% because it's Ascension, and it makes things easier as well. Lower stats requirements. or Nightmare and stuff like that on, because you can just upgrade your towers and it's double the upgrade that it would be on live. If it's not one of those 3 towers that don't get the full amount. Generally, you want to upgrade buff beams, auras, and then towers that's doing damage. Everything else you can upgrade, but doesn't really much. It won't affect your build time, it won't affect wave time, it doesn't matter. I mean, it can matter, but sometimes you'll upgrade walls like I did with that one because it's going to tank a bunch of enemies, but if it's not tanking enemies, it doesn't really matter. Wall will generally be fine. Worst case, you repair it or upgrade it. It's really, really low. This is where an ogre can get stuck as well. Do a lot of damage. Thank you. Think I got it unstuck? Nope. Yeah, they can get stuck like right here a lot of the time. Okay, so this is the final wave, it looks like. Soon. In like 2 seconds. I repair everything I can. We should kill the mages because they'll respawning the menu. Okay. Up. Just gonna add more tools. And then F3, I'm gonna add my series EV first. F4, going to add initiate. She should as well. Going to add either another initiate or a monk, it does not matter. I'll go ahead and add a monk. Reason why you add monks and initiates is because only they can get a Genie Scimitar. Summoner can also get it, but it's 25% chance instead of 100. But if you have a monk or initiate, you have a 100% chance of getting a Genie Scimitar. Reason why I add an EV, because the HP of the boss doesn't really go up, as far as I know. So adding an EV will increase the damage of Scimitars. Boss go down much. So even though I'll get 3 Genie Scimitars instead of 4 if I had another initiate, it might not be possible if I have 4. If I have 4 initiates / monks or whatever. It might not be possible to do this. The wave is pretty much standard. Prepare everything before the boss. We get a timer before the boss spawns. Run around with Aura of Fire and you should be fine. Prepare the Spider Queen. Hello? Boss will take probably longer than the wave will, but that's fine. Also, I don't think I explained, in options, the minimum displayed item quality is what displays on the map. So now I only see mythical and up whenever I press shift, like that blue little dot in the center of the map. Blue dots that are on the map. It says mythical 4, mythical 5. Tells me how many items there are. That's why you change that, because you don't need to see anything for now. Later you want to see mythical. There won't be a stat increase. Just standing here so they don't run at me. You stand like slightly above or in a place that they can't run to unless they have projectiles that won't generally try to hit you. I did not mean to repair that archer minion. Archer minions do not matter if they die here. It's just kind of nice to have them. Or up fire. A lot of enemies spawn here as well. Heal. Towers can probably complete the wave, but it's up until boss, but it goes much faster if you just click Ring of Fire occasionally. Going around, hitting stuff, holding right click. This is where that electric ore would be kind of nice, but then you won this SAM turret. That doesn't really kind of matters, but let's see. If you die during the wave, you also respawn for the boss, so if you die, don't worry. Any map with a boss, you die during the wave, it's hardcore or ruthless, you'll respawn during the boss. If it's on boss wave. Repair everything because the last few enemies are dying, so. Fire. Get rid of those. Grab as much mana as possible. I have maximum mana before the boss spawns. Pressing shift again. An enemy is stuck. Oh, there. Oh, it is fire resistance. That is ridiculous. Can't even left click it. That is really annoying. He'll eventually die to respawn, but it's forever. Am I? I don't know how I'm gonna hit this. I just have to wait. It's ridiculously annoying. That has fire resistance. If it didn't fire resistance, I could get it, but can't even hit it. Can't right click it, left click it. Can't do anything. Wait for it to die. I might pause and. I'll just pause. Okay, skipped that part. It was like 2 minutes. Boss approaching, and then stand about right here. Make sure your alts are over here. Doesn't really matter if they die. Just get reduced XP. Then click in once you have all the mana you need. In will skip the boss timer. And about right here, you want to behind the reflect beam. And just tower boost. A lot of damage from the towers. It's hitting that wall. Hopefully it dies quickly, but SAM turrets may start hitting other enemies. Fortunately, but they'll eventually kill it, and then make sure you're repairing this wall constantly. Already almost dead. This last little bit of health will take the longest out of the entire thing. Up tower boost once you're kind of getting low on mana. Just keep repairing this. boss is just hitting this physical beam, so you just have to constantly repair it if possible. Just waiting till tower boost comes back up, and then we're gonna go grab mana and tower boost again. Or again to stop. Try not to fall. As much mana as possible. Jump back over here. Keep repairing and tower boosting. It'll eventually hit the boss. It's kind of RNG whether it hits or not. Sam turrets will hit it eventually. Oh. God. That is really... I don't have a... We're over here. That might happen during a wave. Also looks like it's gonna die. It's tower boosts. Upgrading this. Repairing it rather. The 4 key, the anvil. Keep tower boosting, hopefully it hits eventually. On just a few more shots and it's done. Just keeping an eye on that other crystal right now. There we go. Alright, it's dead. And Genie Scimitar. 8, 7. Also got a lot of XP. 29 minutes. Build time was fairly long. Had to wait. Oh, I got 2 genies as well. Fairly lucky. Hope you get a genie. If you don't get a genie, you might have to map twice. Get a genie pet. Concarian. I'll hold on to it. I might. Weapons. See what they're useful. Hold on to the Spartan sword. Alright, these are what you want. But looking at them. Genie Scimitar. And Sash, I got all myth. If you don't get all myth, fine. Also, sometimes roll. Okay. Tavern. Upgrade the Genie Sim, showed off, and then next episode farm Divine Crystals already. Okay. Just looking for one with stats, good upgrades. Looks like this one's the best one. I'm gonna be on Monk. I'm gonna respec from tower damage. Oh, I also got this, but I don't need it. Really low. Fall into hero damage when you respec. Upgrade the projectile speed to max. To control. Click. And then literally the rest of the mana you have into range damage. You want to get as much as possible. This is it. 600,000 damage. Do a lot with this now. Whatever. This genie pet is honestly really good. You might not be so lucky with genie pets. I'm gonna do the map twice, but this is on Ascension, and you can farm Divine Crystals with this. It'll be fairly slow, but yep. That's what next episode will be. Farming Divine Crystals on Assault Pack Part 2, Ascension Hard